Sorry.
Yeah, this is new, talking for the recorder, you know. All right. Well, anyway, it's good to be here in Aberdeen. It's my home of recovery right here. It's a very special place to me. I come my first time when I was 17 years old. That's about 25 years ago, and took me about 20 years to get that 90-day chip, but I finally made it. And anyway, special place. You know, a lot of folks here I really love, I think a lot of, respect, all that good stuff. So good to be here with you tonight. My home group is in Rockingham now, Old Time Structure Group. We meet on Wednesday night for a closed discussion meeting, and we have an open speaker meeting on Sunday nights. So we hope you guys will join us. That Sunday night meetings at 7, Wednesdays at 8. And my sobriety date is April 29th of 2007, and I think that's my buddy Deucey's date, which I thought interesting because I've known Deucey since we were real young kids. We didn't ever behave very well. Oh, we got sober though. We got sober. Okay, I guess that's all the formalities. Y'all might have to censor this thing. I don't never know what's going to come out of my mouth. You know, any young kids, you might want to use your own discretion. I try not to, you know, be too crazy, but I do get a little. I'm a passionate person. That's the word I like to use. Some people call it crazy, say, oh, you know, but high strung, whatever. You know, sometimes I get in this story, and particularly toward the end of my drinking and rolling, it was, I mean, all the days were real dark. A lot of violence, a lot of criminal behavior, that kind of thing. So usually when I get into that part, I kind of get, I don't know, I kind of like I relive it again. So anyway, forgive me if something slips out. All right. We'll start at the beginning, I guess. Born in Wagram, North Carolina. If anybody knows what that is, right up the road. You can still miss it if you ain't careful, though. Buster knows what that is, don't you? Yeah, they did finally get a stoplight, I believe. Subway, got a Subway. So there is a restaurant in town, and a whole lot of drunks just like me, because most of those related to me. But well, I take that back. They're about all dead now. But alcoholism's killed about every male in my family on my dad's side. He was the first one to make it to 60, and those were the dudes I was going to be just like. I mean, I set out to be just like them from as early as I can remember. I mean, I was just attracted to, you know, that the fast cars, you know, the women, and you know, just what looked to be like plenty of money. You know, just I was attracted to it, and my brother was not. So you know, I think we kind of come out of the gate, you know, heading in a specific direction, and you know, at a young age, you know, everybody knew what direction I was heading in. I spent as much time with those guys as I could, and you know, my mom, she wasn't too much on it because she knows what went on out there after it got dark. You know, the bottles would come out, and usually the guns and the knives and the, you know, all that good stuff that used to entertain me so much. You know, I used to just love it, and I did. I loved it, and I was attracted to it, and I knew those dudes were not going to let me down. I'm here to tell you now, when they got the liquor out, there's going to be some entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just shoot at random cars going down the road, you know. And they had to be strangers because anybody that knew them wouldn't be riding by there, you know. So and my heroes, yeah, turns out it ain't all it's cracked up to be. But yeah, you know, I knew at an early age, I always share this because I've heard other folks share it, and it, you know, kind of just makes sense to me. I knew something was wrong with me, like way back, you know, 4 or 5, you know. I was asked to leave a couple daycares, you know what I mean? Me and Deuce was together at the last one, you know, and then we had to leave that. Of course, we blamed that one on my brother, you know, because he's got to take up for me and all that good stuff. But anyway, Dad said, I guess you just going to have to stay at home. Don't nobody want you, you know what I mean? So I was happy with that. I didn't want to be around those other people no way, you know. But, you know, school was a scary part. I'll never forget my first day at school, or first day going to school, you know, on that bus, and just absolutely petrified. Don't know what I was scared of, but I was just scared. And, you know, it wasn't none of the people on the bus I was scared of. It's just being around. Something about that, I wasn't very social. And come to find out, that first daycare that I was asked to leave, Dad told my parents that, you know, that kid's not ready for socially not ready for school. Okay, he likes to hit people, you know. You know. So anyway, it turns out she was right, probably. But what are you going to do? I mean, you can't wait till you're 35, which is when I actually grew up. I mean, you can't start school at 35, so you got to get going sometime. But anyway, just being so scared on that bus, you know, didn't know why. It's just like something is missing, wrong. I don't have that. The rule book didn't get explained to me right or something, you know. I remember looking down through the hallway at the Aberdeen Elementary School, and it was, you know, I just still see the kids going in and out of the rooms. You know, it's just like everybody knew what they were doing, and inside I was just knew that they must know something I don't. You know, I mean, I just felt so uncomfortable, and I found out the first day of school if you get in trouble, you know, they'll get you out of there. You know what I mean? And I always tell it. I remember going to the principal was Mr. Seals there, you know, at Aberdeen Elementary. So I go to the principal's office first day of school. Ain't been in there 20 minutes, and you know, go to the office and he gives me a toy. I'm like, this ain't bad. You know, this ain't a bad deal. Give me an old Burger King toy. I remember it had the old zip toy with the crown. I pulled that thing and watched the damn crown fly around. And hey, I just sit in the corner for hours, you know what I mean? See, this office trip ain't too bad, you know. Got me away from all those other people, and I get a toy for it. So me and him he knew me well. He knew me well. I was in his office more than I was in my classroom. But, you know, it's like that. It's just a lot of, you know, I didn't really want to be a bad kid. It's just like the way I behaved, I thought it's the way boys were supposed to behave, really. Because, you know, I remember being young, my uncles, we wouldn't, I guess, play like normal games. You know, they teach you to get your knife out real fast. You know, that kind of thing, because they said they didn't care who made the knife, it's who got it out quickest is going to win, you know what I mean? And so they don't care if it's made in China or if it's a good old case double X. If you can get it out quicker, you'll win. And somehow that made a lot of sense, and it actually paid off later on down the road, you know, because I didn't go nowhere without it. But you know, just wanting to be around those guys. Another thing in my younger years is the only time I really felt comfortable was when I was playing ball or, you know, baseball we were real big in. And, I mean, I was extremely obsessive over sports, you know what I mean, because it's the only thing that really made me happy. I mean, I loved to compete, loved everything about it, you know, was fairly good, you know. My dad would work with us constantly, you know. My mom and dad were great parents, sacrificed, you know, so we could have the things that we needed, really, you know. They would certainly go without to make sure we had it, which I was never a grateful kid, you know. And matter of fact, I heard that more than once, you know, you're a very ungrateful kid, you know. And it kind of hurt me, but next thing I know, I was, well, can I get it anyway? You know, I appreciate it, but anyway, just the kind of kid I am. I mean, that's why this program works so well for me. But you know, anyway, just loving to play ball. And I mean, I'd be in class, I'd think about, you know, the clouds were coming. I'm already thinking about my game at 6 o'clock tonight, you know. Is it going to rain? They teaching away, right? I ain't heard of nothing. You know, I'm just worried about that ball game tonight. And some folks say they, what's the saying, got kicked out or left school because they had recess. Hell, that's the only reason I went. You know what I mean? Because at least we get to go outside and play. Now, that was my realm there now, the playground. You know, we could run things out there. You know, get a couple of the boys together, and we kind of ruled on the playground. So, you know, that was my home. Get back to class, there was trouble again. But I took my first drink probably about 8 or 9 years old. I'd slipped a few of my dad's beers. I took 3 is what I took. They were the most slits, pull tabs, you know. And he'd, you know, he would drink. I mean, I've seen my dad drink a case of beer while they're playing golf, but somehow he'd know how to go home. You know, I never could figure that one out. But as far as what he drank at home, you know, my mom wasn't having it. She had never drank any alcohol, never smoked a cigarette, so he was able to pull that off. He'd buy a 6-pack about once a month or so, something like that. And so I'd always wait till we had like 4 or 3 or 2 when I'd steal my beer and go hide it behind the building. Because he wasn't the kind of dude you want to play with, you know what I mean? Got a lot of scar tissue to prove that. I mean, that dude will put you down, you know. And so I wasn't taking the first one, and I was damn sure wasn't taking his last one. So I'd have to be real smart about how I get these things. And so anyway, I got those 3 beers, and I remember, you know, they were driving out. I can still see them driving out, and that's amazing, you know, when it's something to do with alcohol or drugs. I can remember it very well. You know what I mean? Just like I was back there again, I could still see that old Delta 88 pulling out of the yard going to whatever little meeting they were going to. And that was my opportunity to go drink them 3 beers, you know. And I went down there behind the building and popped that thing open. And, you know, they've been out there in the sun and the girls, hey, they tasted terrible. I mean, it tasted bad, man. That stuff was, it was bad. But I trooped it on through. You know what I mean? Hey, it takes work to be an alcoholic. You get addicted to some dope just without trying, but you got to work to be an alcoholic. Now you got to suffer a little bit, throw up a little bit, puke a little bit, you know. But I'm gonna get one of these things to stick down here. But anyway, I fought through all 3 of them beers. You know, ain't never had it before. I mean, I'd probably tasted a couple of my grandmas or some of them uncles of mine through the years, but that was the first time I could just knock down a whole beer, you know. But I drank all 3 of them things, and I don't remember, you know, any kind of fuzzy feelings or not, but I can tell you I do remember exactly my thinking was, I got to start another one. I got to get 3 more. You know what I mean? I remember that immediately as time to hide 3 more, you know, so. And never had drank before, you know, so that's pretty much an indicator that you're probably going to have issues, you know, because it wasn't a very enjoyable experience. Again, I suffered from slits coming out my nose and everything else. And I'm gagging, eyes probably water like hell, and I'm ready to do it again. So, yeah. And that's how I drank now. We started probably about 13 or 14. I was drinking on a regular basis. I'd have my friends were all centered around whoever Dad might have a liquor cabinet, or Buddy's mom might not be so as strict as mine. Let's just put it like that. You know, I knew we could drink over there. So I chose friends selectively. You know, I ain't got to like you. You know, I just know we can do what we want to do. We can work through all that other stuff later. That's why I probably fought with everybody that I didn't have many friends. Deucey, I don't know what he hung around. He had no choice. I just show up at his house, you know what I mean? His dad liked me, you know, whatever, good people. But, yeah, I never did make friends very well. I think it's the way I treated them, you know? The way I talk to people, the way, you know, getting drunk around me won't no fun event most of the time. But, you know, started drinking daily. You know, 13, 14 years old. Again, I'd choose my friends accordingly. I try to stay as much away from my house as I could. And that's because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I mean, my life was already centered around alcohol. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I was already planning who can I stay with this weekend, you know, who's having something. Just always, I was constantly thinking at those early ages, even in 7th and 8th grade, on when can I get an opportunity to drink again. You know, my dad would he was a businessman, so occasionally somebody buy him a bottle of liquor or whatever. So he had about, 10 bottles, 12 bottles, and I knew exactly where them things were, you know what I mean? I didn't get brave enough to take them till I got about 15, though. And but I watched them for about 2 years, you know what I mean? I knew exactly what was back there. I had surveyed the surroundings and making sure he ain't going to get them or any of that stuff, so I had to be smart around that dude, I'm telling you. It wasn't real bright to be crossing him too much back in them days. But I'd cross them anyway. You know, I remember starting in high schools when it really amped up, you know, we get some freedom, get them driver's license, and I kept them all about 2 weeks. You know, didn't stop me from driving much, but I got my first DUI, like, it might not even been 2 weeks, hell, it might have been the first weekend, I don't know. It was quick. And I remember I forget who was riding with me, but we were at McDonald's, going through the drive-thru at McDonald's, you know, and Aberdeen police officer pulled us. I didn't see him till I had the beer, you know, about, you know, just killing it at the drive-thru at 16, you know, and I look over, and there he is. I'm like, this ain't gonna be good. Yeah. So here now I start the court dates, and that was a regular occurrence too. Now I'm glad. I think they finally might have got some cushions up there. I ain't sure, but they didn't used to have none up there. They may not still. I sat on them wood benches a many a day, boy. And my dad did too. You know, I probably got my 3rd DUI before, you know, at 17, whatever. You know, I mean, just rattling them off. You know, and again, drank every day of my life. Now the guy had gotten into wrestling when I was probably 12. My brother started when he's in high school, and I really enjoyed that. Now, I mean, that was right up my alley there. Some good physical altercations, you know. And it turns out I had a little talent for it, probably just mean as hell. That's a good requirement to be a good wrestler. You got to want to put some pain on somebody. But I had that. But anyway, we worked hard. My dad would, again, anything we did, he supported. I mean, he would certainly sacrifice. He filled our whole garage up with just mats. You know what I mean? So me and my brother would stay out there for 2 and 3 and 4 hours every evening, just training, doing drills. In great shape, I weighed about like 98 pounds when I was a freshman. I mean, just in great shape, best shape I'd ever been in. As the drinking took over, that stuff started going down. Everything started going down, and my drinking started going up. And of course, about sophomore year, I did get a chance to. I won a conference championship in wrestling, and that was I often say it like when I graduated in 2009 from school. I said that's the first proud moments my parents have had since I won that conference championship. And those events are 20 years apart, so that's not a good thing to be able to say, but it happens to be the truth. Because after that, it got real bad for me. I was like 17 at that time. Again, I'd stay gone from the house. My poor dad would chase me all over the damn county and a couple counties and whatever. I'd go. Ducey had his own place at that time, him and another friend of mine. So I had my four-wheeler now. I didn't have a license, but I had to drive that four-wheeler. And, we knew all the little dirt roads and the side roads, and there wasn't no cop going to catch me on that thing no way, not out there anyhow. But they would sure try. But anyway, I'd go over to the Deuces or whatever and, just lounge around his house. They paid the bills, I just drank, and it'd be kind of cold in there, though, Deucey. It'd be kind of cold in there. You had to bring your blanket. But we had plenty to drink. But, trouble really started coming. It got real ugly for me there at like 17. Again, found some other substances. Of course, you'll hear some of the stuff I talk about and how ugly my life got. Of course, alcohol wasn't the only thing I was doing, but alcohol I drank daily. And so at 17, right at the end of my 17 there, I was kicked out of school for some fighting and just a whole big ball of things just started coming down on me. My wrestling coach would protect me for the first couple of years there, but that all finally run out. Wouldn't show up for practices, wouldn't do nothing, so they finally just let them do what they needed to do. So anyway, kicked out of school, went to work. Roofing was my first job, and it didn't take me long to figure out that this is not a way to make a living here. I got to figure something else out. But I mean, we stayed drunk, and I enjoyed the guys I worked with. I mean, they drank just like I did. We had a contract up at Mansion Homes in Robbins. And I remember we had stayed drunk the whole night, and still drinking on the way to work that morning. None of us slept. And one of the boys fell off the roof there at the trailer plant. And the plant manager, come up and looking at me. I heard him say, I was up on the roof still. I heard him say, this boy's drunk, And then we got down there. He said, hell, they all drunk. So our poor boss lost that contract. We didn't care. I wasn't making but $5.25 an hour. Hell, it wasn't a big deal to me. He was upset with us though. But anyway, going on, that's when what I call it was fun. I mean, I love to drink. There ain't no now. Not saying I didn't. I mean, I love to drink alcohol. I was born to drink. I mean, it's the only. Hey, other than wrestling, baseball, and drinking. I mean, that's what I could do that well. Didn't need to. It's like you take the training wheels off. I can do this. And I always say kind of my natural states: barefoot, blue jeans, shorts cut off, and a bottle in my hand. And I mean, I'm good. Now, everybody else might not be. My mom don't think it's so good, but I feel like that was kind of what I was designed to do. Again, I'm out there with those uncles I talked about, and we were running hard at this time, and got in a lot of trouble, a lot of some criminal stuff going on, and facing a lot of prison time. At the end of 17, went to my first treatment center, and it wasn't my idea to go to treatment, because I would react very aggressively if anybody, approached me with, don't you think you need some help, or anything like that. I would I would not have a good reaction. They would get away from me pretty quick, you know. And it was weird to me. I remember the first time my parents come in my bedroom there, and I was laying up on the bed, and they come to me with compassion. I mean, they were extremely concerned. I mean, I'm facing all this time. And matter of fact, there was like 5 other charges that I hadn't shown up for court for. I mean, it was just piling up on me, you know. And I remember coming in the bedroom, and I mean, just really with compassion. Me and my dad fought a lot. You know, I was not an easy son to raise. I mean, because beatings don't help me. Okay, you know what I mean? I just keep doing it, irregardless. You can't beat me, a kid like me, enough. And but it wasn't a fight. I mean, he didn't come in with the normal fight stuff. He was extremely concerned, and you know, I remember him asking me, "Are you strung out, son?" You know, man, I flew off of that bed, and I mean, just went ballistic, and just crazy. And I remember after they had gotten out of there, you know, because they had to get out of there because I was kind of uncontrollable, you know, that kind of deal. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what in the hell was that all about? I mean, I didn't know why. It scared me. I didn't know why I would have reacted like that. I know these people love me, and they didn't come to me in a beat you up kind of way, and yet I acted like I did, and scared my mom half to death. You know, she got exposed to way more than she ever should have, and because she wasn't raised around that kind of stuff. Now my dad, he was used to it. He grew up in an alcoholic home, so he was used to that fighting and hell raising. And the first memory that I really remember, the first vivid memory, was my grandfather cutting my grandmother down the back while they were running down the hall. She was running from him, and he sliced her down her back. And now that's after my youngest uncle had already run in there and threw us up under the bed, you know, that place I loved to hang out so much, you know. And it's the reason my brother didn't like to hang out there, because that's the kind of stuff that would go on. And anyway, I remember sticking my head out from under the bed, and that's what I saw. And then my dad shows up, and, you know, I remember him having the gun to his dad said, telling him to blow his freaking brains out if he ever touches his mom again. So that kind of thing. He grew up with that stuff. But my mom didn't, and my mom had to see that kind of stuff with me and my dad, you know, guns on each other, knives on each other, that kind of thing. I mean, I'd take the gun and put it to my chest and tell him to pull the damn trigger, do us both a favor, you know. Again, I was not an easy son to raise, you know. And, you know, got in all this trouble at 17, and believe you me, it was about to go off the cliff, you know. I never really got out of the gate. Went to that first treatment center, didn't want to get sober. I mean, I knew there was a problem, but my attorney, the one who thought this treatment was a great idea, you know, I remember him saying, "Pat, we need a defense," and we don't have one. So you need to go to treatment. It made sense. It made sense when he put it like that. So I went up there, and you know, anyway, to make that long story short, got kicked out of there after 23 days for getting high while I was there, and I had a fellow bring us back something that had left, and they tried to ship me off to Minnesota. They done had my next plan, you know, 6 months in Minnesota, which turns out to be Hazelden, where I ended up going to school at, but I wasn't going then. 6 months? I didn't want to do 28 days. I said, "No, that's okay. I'm going home. That's what I'm doing. Y'all can call my dad, come get me." They said, "We done called him, but the plane ticket's bought." I said, "Well, I don't know who the hell's getting on it, because it ain't me. I'm going to Southern Pines," you know what I mean? And I was serious, and they didn't get me on that plane. So I don't know who wasted their money there, but they sure wasted it. So anyway, went home, and any brat, you know, I tell you, I used to like to think I was fairly intelligent, but I mean, you know, facing that kind of time I was facing, you might should have took that 6-month option, you know, but I didn't. Drunk the day I got out of there. I was high as a kite when I got the treatment that time. But anyway, rolling every day. Showed up for that court date drunk, absolutely drunk. I drank all night the night before, but that wasn't my plan. This is one thing I talk about in part of my first step stuff that I got into with my sponsor. And a few things I really stick in my mind. It sure ain't the way I drank. I drank to drunk every day. But there was a few times during those years that I absolutely should not have been drunk. And the day that you go in front of a judge and faces 70 years is one of them damn days. I mean, you know, and I knew that. The night before, I remember saying that, now we're going to go party. Because, I mean, again, I've been kicked out of treatment. There ain't no telling what's going to happen with me. And so I'm pretty sure jail's got something to do with it. So we're going to go have some fun tonight. But what I had planned on doing and what I promised my dad I'd do is I'm going to shut it down about 11 o'clock. Get me some sleep, wake up, shave, put that suit on, You know, I was gonna go try to fool them, you know what I mean? Make them think I was a nice young man, you know? And that was my plan. And man, we got our fifth liquor, and I used to love Jim Beam. Now that's what I had. And getting about 8:30, I remember, because the liquor store in Aberdeen here closed at 7. The liquor store in Southern Pines closed at 8, and the one they had just built over at Pinecrest Plaza closed at 9. And that's good information to have, you know. About 8:30, and my fifth, I mean, I've got about that much left in that fifth. I was looking at it, but I know, again, that little thing in the back of my head, like, you know, you need to get some rest tonight. You got to go to court tomorrow. Kept looking at it, I'm like, that ain't going to do it, you know. So we got to hurry up and get over to Pinecrest Plaza. So we went on and bought a half gallon just to make sure, you know. It ain't nothing after 9 o'clock, you know. We ain't going right out there to them bootleggers my uncle goes to. So we went on and got the big bottle. And started drinking. Still going to shut it down at 11 now. We just didn't have quite enough to get me to 11. Man, 11 o'clock come around and one more, right? One more. Damn, it's getting late. One more, though. Got time for one more. Always time for one more. And midnight come rolling around. I'm thinking, you know, now I'm counting the damn, let's see, get up to 7 miles. Hell, they time for one more, you know. 1 o'clock rolls around. Thinking, this ain't good here. This ain't good. We down to 5 hours sleep. You know what I mean? And so, of course, somewhere around 3, I just said, hell with the sleep idea. Okay, let's just go on and drink. So tomorrow ain't not going to be a good day for Pat. So we might as well drink tonight. And that's how I did it. And my dad come to get me at 7 o'clock next morning. I come strolling out the house or stumbling out, crawling out, however I was coming out. But I had my drink with me. Still have my drink in my hand, the last one I was drinking that morning. And man, I remember that look on that guy's face. Again, we fought a lot, but he was absolutely astonished that morning. I mean, tie on sideways, you know what I mean? Then I wish we had a picture of that. That was bad. It was bad. Shoes ain't tied, you know, the unbuttoned shirt. Yeah, he just shook it. I got in the car. He said, what in hell? He said, how could you be drunk this morning? I said, I don't know. I mean, for real, we didn't even speak all the way to the courthouse. It was just absolutely amazed that I could be drunk that morning, you know. And my lawyer was just as amazed. Right? Anyway, moving on from there. But that just sticks with me. Again, you know, I think about it in Dr. Silkworth's description, you know, this thing is beyond my mental control. I mean, that's the deal with me and alcohol. Just because I got an intention to stop at 11 don't mean nothing. It's not going to happen. When I put alcohol in my system, I just simply can't control the amount I take. I overshoot the mark every single time, and I don't care what tomorrow is. If it's a good day for me or a bad day for me, I'll be drunk nonetheless, okay? So I may show up or I may not, but you can believe I'll be drunk if I'm drinking the day before. You know, that's just the truth with me. And another one that sticks in my head was I was about 23, gotten out of prison. Been out about 6 months, been drunk ever since I got out, which I said I wasn't going to, you know, I was done with that stuff. I ain't going to do it no more. You know, I've had enough. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to try to make something of my life. You know, I was in great shape again because prison helped me, save me from myself, really. You know, I could sleep, eat, and that's not stuff I did when I was out. Anyway, got healthy again, got out, been drunk ever since I got out. I remember that day that I got out there, I'd already planned I'm going out there to those uncles, you know what I mean? And the one that I hung out with the most just passed away about 6 months ago. But he's the one I was going to see, you know, and I talked to him periodically when I was in there. We done planned the party and all that good stuff, good coming home party. Of course, you got to have some girls involved since you've been locked up. Everybody knows the drill there, right? And but that's all. I mean, that's all. I mean, I'm going to be at work. My dad had me a job lined up for Monday, and you know, and he's already a little concerned at this trip me and my uncle's planned because he knows I ain't going to be there on Monday if I take it, you know. I remember him begging all the way home. He was coming home from Goldsboro. Pat, you can't go out there. What in the world? He said, y'all can't be together, you know. And I was like, Dad, look, it's going to be all right. You know, we're going to party tonight. We're just going to party. I mean, good God, dude, I've been locked up. I mean, I got to go see somebody, you know what I mean? And anyway, he wasn't down with it. He knows me and my alcoholism better than I did. I literally believed that lie that I was telling myself that I was just going to go party tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be all cleaned up, ready for work Monday morning. Of course, that didn't happen. when I drink, I stay drinking, and you know, and I stay drunk again. And so 6 months later, poor mom putting her through hell again, you know, because she was real hopeful when I come out of prison. Again, I looked good, you know, the best I'd looked since I was 17, you know, or 16 really. And she had a lot of hope that I was going to do good, because that's what I was telling her. That's what I was telling her, Mom, I'm going to get this thing together. You know what I mean? Been worrying you to death. Sorry about that, you know. And it was Mother's Day. Mother's Day had come around, and I remember, and I've been causing so much trouble. I said I'm going to spend some time with my mom tomorrow. You know, I mean, I remember having it in my head. And of course, I woke up that morning of Mother's Day, and I was shaky, as I always was, the way I drank, you know. And so I said, well, I'm just going to go to Bruce's, give me a couple beers, you know, just to get it steady again. And then I'm going to go to Mom's, spend a couple hours with her. Then I'm going to come back and finish the job. I mean, that don't sound like a bad deal for an alcoholic, right? You get to get drunk, you got to wait a minute. You know what I mean? You just got to wait a minute. Well, what went wrong is I went and had those few first, you know. And I remember getting close to lunchtime, which is when we're supposed to go over there, and I had the girl that was staying with me there, you know, she knew we were supposed to go to Mom's, and it's about my third beer in, fourth beer in, you know, and I was just like I'm nailed to the floor. I mean, it just hits me that I can't go. I mean, I can't go. I got to get another one, and I remember telling her, you know, I ain't gonna be able to go. You going over there, I can't go. And boy, she got all, you know what I mean, raising hell, and you going, and of course I ain't good with that stuff, you know what I mean. Either the story is I'm staying, you know, and man, that hurt me bad. I mean, that hurt me bad that I couldn't even go spend a couple hours with my mom that I loved her dearly, you know. And I planned on doing that, and I got locked up again that night, you know what I mean, because that's what it is. I'm so full of anger at myself, you know, that's all I do. I get to drinking this liquor, and I just let it spew on anybody that's around me, and I know that's what it was. It wasn't none of that. It was always me, and so that's just another thing that sticks out in my head. And one other one about my drinking that really sticks out is that around that same time, or a little bit later than that, I'd finally, Lord, had some stuff going on that night at my apartment, and had kicked my neighbor's door in, acting foolish. All the law in the county was out there, amongst the other things I did. And remember told that person stand with me next morning that, you know, how sorry I was, and that I'm done with that stuff. So I ain't drinking no more. Promise you I ain't drinking no more. Had other cases in Hoke County that I had to go see an attorney for that day. So we go to Hoke County, see the attorney, and at about 6 o'clock we were driving home. And had drank all day, but I'm here to tell you I was coming undone, man. I mean, I hadn't mentioned it to her yet, but man, it was on me. My whole way home was, how am I going to get a drink and make her all right with it at the same time, you know what I mean? And I can get addiction to give you some brilliant ideas. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, this stuff sounds good. And I was having trouble coming up with one this time, because you got to know what I did the night before. They want nothing that was going to sound good, okay? Hey, Einstein won't coming up with no good one that day. But, so anyway, we got back about that house there back in Lakeview, and since I couldn't come up with nothing good enough, I just told her to pull in the store. As best I come up with, I'll give me something to damn drink. You know what I mean? How about that? And hey, ain't got no beautiful story for you. But and of course the tears start rolling. Please, you promise. I'm like, yeah, pull in. I know I did. What the hell, you think I lost my memory? But yeah, I know what I said. Going to that store, man, and I got by that beer cooler again. Now I'm about 23 at this time, somewhere in that neighborhood, 24, and just wild and crazy, and supposed to be tough and all this good stuff. And anyway, what I don't normally do is cry sitting at the beer cooler. Okay, that's what I normally never have done before. And I got to that beer cooler and I opened that thing up, man. I was trembling like a leaf, and because I didn't want to get that 12-pack, but I had to get that 12-pack. I remember just sitting there looking at it with the door open. I just started crying. Because I knew then that, again, I stayed drunk for so long, I ain't never not drank, you know. So that's when it really hit me heavy, man, that I can't not get this 12-pack. It don't matter what I done last night, I'll be doing it again tonight. If anybody has anything cross to say to me, because that's just what's going to happen. And I was just crying when I picked the 12-pack. I'll never forget it. because I could not get that thing. I wanted to not get it bad. I mean, I wanted to go back out there and not get that thing. Wasn't going to happen. So that's how long I can stay sober, giving it my damn best shot. About 8-10 hours, somewhere in there, you know what I mean? It's crazy. And that was at a young age, right? Just on through the daily drinking, went back to treatment, Lord, 4 or 5 times in my 20s. Went to 9 in all, in and out of jail. One thing after another, it was constantly. Stayed on the run for the law for a lot of years, like 12 years. They put house arrest bracelets on me. I'd do okay until I drank, then I'd cut it off. Every time. The first time I drank, I cut that damn thing off because it's time to roll, And they'd find out. I found out don't throw that thing away, though, because it costs like $800. Yeah. And my dad's the one who has to pay the bill. So he told me next time you're going to cut one off, bring it home. Bring it home. You cut the damn thing off, please. And so I did. I cut it off and threw it in his yard the next one. Yeah. Sure did. Called him, told him where it was. That thing's on his front step, but bad. Anyway, went to Cleveland, had some good times in Cleveland. Took me with me, It wasn't long before I was sitting in front of the officers there. A damn police dog about killed me. I mean, damn, them police dogs ain't no joke, dude. He had his leg, that damn teeth sunk into my bone on my leg, and I had his top mouth. Now, I had my hand under the top, because he won't get them top ones in. He done had about 10 of them with the pistols on me. Turn loose of the dog, turn loose of the dog. I said, bullshit. You gonna have to shoot me. I ain't done shit. Hell no, I ain't turning loose of this damn dog. I mean, I was literally, I'm telling you, he was to the bone, Jack. And they got a kick out of that, them cops did. They enjoy that kind of thing. And so anyway, another 6 months up in Cleveland, I done went after a fella working with me with a hammer, drunk. I'm drunk. I drink, it was okay to drink there at work, which is, I kind of like that setup until I always want to gravitate back to that liquor. You know what I mean? Now I stay drunk on beer. But something about that liquor they put in it, dude, it don't work well with me, I'm telling you. I think because I drink it like beer. You know what I mean? Like, just guzzle it, It don't take me long to be out of the way, Anyway, so the guy up there, he's passed away now. He was a good friend of my dad's. My dad gave him the first big contract, and so he felt indebted to my father. So that guy took care of me up there. I mean, he paid my damn rent. I didn't go to work about one day a week, And that was to get money, Worked with a great tool and die maker up there, learned some great things, but I just couldn't make it very often. You think since you could drink it work, my uncle, he was up there with me, the one that just passed away, and he loved it. I mean, hell, he had a refrigerator under his toolbox, you know what I mean? He was doing it right, But anyway, the guy gave me $1,300 and said, Pat, I can't have you up here. And again, this man was in debt to my dad. He said, you're an insurance risk. That's what he told me. I mean, something about running that dude around there with a hammer, And everything he did was in 13s. That's what he gave me. He said, gave me $1,300 and had Steve bring me home. So anyway, crazy. That's the way it went. I drank every day, and of course, then it got uglier. In the last few years I was out there, of course, a lot of dope was involved. Many dark days, and my poor mom and my dad went through hell with me. I mean, they knew this kind of stuff I was doing. I remember one time, my mom wanted to call the sheriff's department, but at that time I'd keep a gun on me all the time, in those last years, because that's how we'd get more money to do what we needed to do, And I remember saying after I got so, that she was scared that if she were to call the police to get me, to try to protect me, right, so the reason she'd do it, she thought they'd have to kill me, Mom's just not to have to go through that kind of thinking, and, she said she cried herself to sleep every night, and prayed herself to sleep every night. And my dad did too. It's just a lot of sad days. A lot of people were getting hurt those last year out there. Every day was kind of like a day that, as a matter of fact, I say it verbally, I hope you're ready to die today. I mean, if you were going with me, because the things we were having to do to get what we were getting, it's very possible that you could die today. As a matter of fact, one of them did. One of those people did. And I had to watch it. I had to watch it happen. So, and that you know, I had a feeling. I remember telling my uncle about 6 months before I got sober in 2006, which is really when my recovery started. It was, I mean, I told him I felt like something was going to be different. I remember telling him that, and I mean, my life was at the very worst it could possibly be, which shocked him. He's like, I can't tell it's going to be better, you know. But I mean, I don't know. I think I had a divine intervention is what I'm saying, but I believe it started back then, like something. Because I was thinking about death, let me tell you. I didn't care about my life, your life, or nobody else's life. And I mean, I was just even drunk and high. All I could think about was what I was putting my family through, the things I'd have to do to get this stuff. I mean, the people that were getting hurt, you know. That's all I could think about, even drunk and high. I couldn't drink it away no more, you know. They won't know numbing the pain any longer. And so, you know, death was in my mind a lot. And matter of fact, it you know, had guns pulled on me, and I've told them to do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Please do it. So, 2006, I went to see Harold Pearson at Samaritan Colony, and, you know, my dad said, let's just ride out there. First he told me to call him, then he said, hell, just get in the car, let's go see him, you know. And I'm bleeding from everywhere. I just done this deal to my hand, had blood coming out of my knee, and been up for 6 days, you know, looking real pretty. And, of course, that's the way Harold would expect me to look, you know. And anyway, he let me back in there after he gave me a whole list of requirements, because last time I was there, I had disrespected pretty much everybody there. In his words, you disrespected everybody here. You know, so anyway, he laid down his demands, and I absolutely agreed to him. Of course, the bed was a week off. I can't stay sober for a week. I tried and made it about 2 days. I remember getting up at 1 o'clock. I was staying with Mom and Dad, trying to stay safe. You know, they were trying to keep me safe till I could get into treatment. And about 4, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I mean, I had to go. I had to go. I went in there and woke them up. And I said, Dad, you got to run me over to so-and-so's house. And, man, that guy begged me, man. That guy begged me to not go. Yeah. He said, come on, Pat, you can make it. You can make it. I said, let's go. You got to take me. You got to take me. I'll steal the car. I mean, you know, it won't no option. I'm going, you know. But, man, that stuff ripped your soul out, you know. And but nonetheless, I had to go. Been up for 4 days because that's how I do it. I don't got no stop button. My stop button don't work, you know. And it was my day to go into treatment. And, and something come over me like 5 o'clock that morning. And it was not a good night. I mean, more folks had gotten hurt, and at my hands actually this time. And it just something come over me where I said, I got to call my dad and get to this treatment, get to Samaritan Colony today, you know. And for some reason, I was able to lay back in that recliner chair until 7 o'clock and call my dad. And I never can stop like that. I mean, I never can just shut it down, because I'm here to tell you, I had good plans for that day, and it didn't have nothing to do about going to treatment. And but something come over me, and it enabled me to just chill for those 2 hours. Picked me up, wasn't a good. I mean, I was looking bad, boy. Thank God Robert Smith let me in there, because he really shouldn't have. You know, I lied to him, of course, because I know he's got rules to follow. So I lied to him, and it was obvious I ain't been sober 10 minutes, much less no damn 3 days. You know, let me in there. That's when it really started. Got out of there, come to the halfway house, and I finally got a sponsor. Never gotten a sponsor before. Been to probably 500 AA meetings through the years. Never got a sponsor. Never done nothing you told me to do, really. You know, but I did get one that time. Now I had one more drunk left where I woke up in the hospital, but that's where my recovery began. You know, really that last relapse is actually a part of my recovery. That taught me that I can have it all. Give me all the money, all the women, and the damn biggest house you can put it in, and fill it up with cars, and I'll burn it to the damn ground in a week. Or you'll find me dead in it if you get the money with it. You know what I mean? Then I don't have to keep going back. I just tell them to bring the whole damn thing. You know? I found out I'll get high and drunk no matter what my life gets like. And I used to think so much that if I had what my brother had, if I just had that life, I'd be okay. I mean, I wouldn't have to drink like this, or I wouldn't do this dope like I do it. And that proved to me that that's not true. I was making more money than I'd ever made before in my life. Had the house, had the car, never had that kind of stuff. And got drunk nonetheless. You know, because recovery stopped meaning as much, and my money started meaning more, right? And it showed me right then that I'll drink again. And so anyway, got out of the hospital that last time. I had to go back off to treatment because I can't stop. You know, I remember sitting right there talking to the sponsor. I was sitting about where he was, and he was where Anthony is there. And I remember him asking me, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I said, dude, I'm gonna try to stay sober. I'm gonna try to get to a meeting every day, And he said, okay, so let's just say that you can't do that, because I knew what he was saying, and I knew he was right, kind of, but that's what I wanted to try. Of course that didn't work. And so I had to go off to treatment one more time, because I got to have that safe environment so I can stay away from this, keep the damn monster away from me for 28 days so I can have a shot, Come out of there, and I really went after this thing then. I'd spend hours, at night at the halfway house. By the time I get home from the meeting, I'd get that book out, just read. I was just sucking it up like a sponge. I was real hungry for sobriety. I wanted something different. I think all this was inspired by something that ain't of me, because I never could muster that kind of willingness to do what nobody told me to do before. It's just something had clicked. Something had just totally shifted. I didn't want to go walk downtown. I remember a guy said, you want to go walk to the lake? What for? What the hell is at that lake for me? And hell no, I don't want to go to the lake. You go. I'm going my ass back over here to this meeting. You know what I mean? I go like 3 a day. I done been at the lake too damn long. You know what I mean? So, I went to a meeting in this building every time the door was open. I come an hour early. There's always a few of us that would sit and drink coffee and talk. Loved it, man. I felt safe and protected. You know what I mean? And pretty funny that I wasn't thinking about drinking during those days. You know what I mean? Had a new plan. And I wasn't playing with it either. I was serious about my sobriety. And again, I got to work these steps with my sponsor. That guy spent time with me. I understand what I was doing. We talked about those, not just what the step is, why is it true? Tell me why it's true. What did you do that makes it true? I had experience with them, and it's undeniable, the truth about me and alcohol. I am powerless, and I'm powerless right here today. Yeah, I'll drink again. That's what that meant. I'll drink again. There's without a doubt. Okay, I'm an alcoholic, and just soaking it up like a sponge. These CDs were big for me. These speaker CDs. I remember riding my scooter back and forth to Richmond County. About got killed on that damn thing a few times. You know what I mean? Even got a pistol one time put in there. I'm gonna get this one truck. For real. I'm gonna get him. Yeah. Hey. Hey. That was bad. But anyway, riding that scooter, and I put my earphones on up under my helmet. And I didn't have no money because I was scared to keep money on me, so I had to buy that little old cassette player from I think it was Dollar General I got somewhere. It wasn't much. And about $8, you ain't gonna get a whole lot for $8. And so you turn it up wide open, and I couldn't hear that thing over that scooter, And I remember this is how bad I wanted to stay sober. To me, it really showed me. I'd pull that thing over because I was missing something the guy was saying. I don't care what, I'd pull that thing over so I could hear what that speaker was talking about. That's how bad I wanted to stay sober. I was soaking it up like a sponge, Anything I could get. I listened to you folks in here. So many of you are here now. It's just, I was listening. I was listening. And I think it's the willingness. Like my sponsors always said, it's the only thing engaging a man is his willingness, And I had it. And there's no question I had the willingness. I was hungry for sobriety. I had to have it, There wasn't no room for mistakes. I couldn't be just walking again to the lake. Or if I left that house, it was to come a meeting or go to eat with my family or go somewhere with my sponsor or maybe another friend and recover. But it won't just to go do no damn joyriding and go have some. I done all that. I spent my whole life doing that. Hey, I drank. I told them to go ahead. Y'all drink some more because you got a ways to catch up with me. I'm done. God is what got me sober. To end on, there's no way Pat Hill got me sober. I'm incapable of staying sober. It's not even in my nature to be sober. I didn't even like what you had. That old requirement, if you want what we have, I didn't want it. Okay, all this love and tolerance bullshit, I didn't want it. I wanted to sleep with your wife. I wanted to fight you. You know what I mean? If I'd have come in here and the people jumping across the tables, kicking people in the face, I'd have took a seat. I said, hell yeah. My kind of program now. I can do this. But that ain't how we get sober, right? That's why I never will get sober. But in the end, I wanted what you had for sure. I knew I had to have it. Again, that's when my ears opened and I could see that life I wanted to be like them uncles of mine, and I had achieved it. I was just like them. And I was going to die just like they did. Drunk. Going to die drunk and with my mom in tears every day, watching me and my dad fight and the violence we had. My son was scared to death of me. He had 2 boys. And the reason you ain't heard a lot about him is because I never was a dad to him. I was drunk. They were scared to death of me. They see me hold my dad down and put a knife to his throat. You know, they had to watch stuff like that. They don't be running up to you when you act like that. You know, but they do now. They do now. Or you know, it's a little shaky with my oldest son, but my youngest one loves me to death. Tells me all the time. You know, and I got him for, you know what, like 8 weeks this summer. Jackie and I sat and got married, went to school. We're gonna get through this thing. You know what I mean? Just a wonderful life I got today, and it's all because Alcoholics Anonymous. I mean, it truly led me to that God of my understanding that I rely on. I mean, I might do a lot wrong, but I don't not lean on my higher power every day. I do it many times throughout the day, and always before I leave my home in the morning, I ask God to go with me, you know, and please inspire my thoughts and my actions. Please stay with me, because I need you. I need you. Without you, I'm dead. I mean, without you, I'll burn this whole thing to the ground, and the life I got today is just truly amazing. And again, I got it because Alcoholics Anonymous, and that there is a God, and it damn sure ain't me. And I don't understand a lot about it, but it's sure real. I mean, I can see it with you guys. You know, I mean, the folks I've seen come in here and get sober, and it's just real. There's a real power we tap into here, and I'm truly grateful for it. And Mary Kay, thanks for asking me to speak.
Thank you very, very much. That was wonderful. We're passing the baskets. We have no dues or fees, but we have expenses, and the baskets are being passed in observance of our 7th tradition. We offered ships to mark our time in the program, and I've asked Jackie to give out ships tonight.
Hey, I'm Jackie, I'm an alcoholic. Here in Sand Hills, we got a chip system. Doesn't keep you sober, but it marks your time. I kind of call it a birthday. Might have 5 this year, who knows? But we start off with that white chip. It's a surrender chip. First 24 hours. Anybody care to pick up a white chip? Okay, leave it up here. 30 whole days and nights. 3 months, 90 days. 6 months, halfway there to that year. Oh, moving into the metals, and we've got that magenta 9-month chip. Pregnant with the program, anybody? Very cool. All right, give birth in the year. And we have any 1-year chips tonight? 1, 2, 78 is it now? All right. Always go back to the white chip. Anybody been out there rewriting their story, kicking the can? Want to pick a new fresh one up? When it dissolves, you might drink again? All right, we'll leave it right up here if you're bashful. Congratulations on what you have.